Jockeys will be riding in the big race looking at the ground, and the news on that, we have quite a bit of rain in the last 24 hours. It is officially very soft ground, 4.1 on the penetrometer. So you will need a horse that needs to get its toe in a little bit, soft ground and testing conditions. There's Sumi, rider of the favourite Mini Hawk, out on the track a little while ago. Now, there are a few non-runners. You might know about some of these, but some have just come through in the last few hours or so. In our very first race, Bandiagara, number 4, doesn't run. In the big sprint, the Prix de l'Abeille, 2 have come out of the race. McGarry, who's number 4, and number 10, Rayevka. Probably you will know that number 7 is Strange, is out of the arc itself. Number 5, very sadly for connections, she scoped wrong very soon after the final declaration stage. And then later on in the programme, right towards the final race, a handicap, Sabroso, number 9, and Javier number 16. Those are both non-runners, so that is you up to date then. It's getting a little bit overcast, but still a nice day.
Yeah, absolutely. We should stay dry most of the afternoon, and the one who will be out there and hoping for nice weather, but getting a real close look at the horses and chatting to connections during the afternoon. It's Fanny Hubert-Salmon. Fanny, where are you? I believe you're down in the stable yard with a very important guest.
I am in the stable yard. The fillies are making their way to the parade ring for the Prix Marcel Boussac, and I am really happy to be reuniting with Michael Tabor. We've enjoyed so many great moments here on Arc Day. Mongeau, of course, comes to mind. The Arc here, an incredible run. Other Dylan Thomas. What does it mean for you to be here on Arc Day?
Oh, it's a special day. I mean, it's a race that's followed all around the world. Arguably the best race in Europe. So it's just a pleasure to be here with runners that we think have got a good chance, and as you know, we've been fortunate to have won it 4 times in the past, so hoping for the best as ever.
And 2 chances today in Los Angeles, who placed 3rd last year and is returning, as well as Mini Hawk. And Mini Hawk is one of the best fillies in Europe. She's a quadruple Oaks winner. How has she been training? What are the vibes?
She's been training really well. Of course, the ground is a little bit of an unknown quantity, whereas Los Angeles will absolutely relish this type of ground. So hope for the best.
We'll let you enjoy and go watch the 2 fillies in the Prix Marcel Boussac in Diamond Necklace, the very well-bred, and also Venosa.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Venosa, well, she'll take her chance, but Diamond Necklace is obviously, I think she's the favourite, so she has an obvious chance, but also the ground is a factor. We don't really know, although her pedigree appears that she would like soft ground, so hope for the best.
We wish you the very best, and as our friends say in Ireland, may the road rise with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Fanny for getting words from some of racing royalty, Michael Tabor, and as she said, we kick off with the Princesses, the juvenile fillies. The Prix Marcel Boussac is our opener. The juvenile fillies, and 9 of them are going to go to post for this mile contest here at Paris-Longchamp. They're all already in the parade ring, and let's take a look through the runners and riders. They kick off with Narissa, Darren, for Francis Graffard. We're going to have a look at
Yes, well, we're looking here. Well, this is Green Spirit who actually wins this particular race, and Green Spirit is unbeaten, beats Narissa on that occasion, won by a length and a quarter.
Runners and riders,
yes.
I think, for this opener with Narissa heading them up for the Aga Khan Studs.
Yeah, start again. Take 2. Number 1 is Narissa, and Michael Barcelona aboard. 2 is Eileen David Egan, who won at Doncaster last time. 3 is Clear Shop, Christian De Muro.
Non-runner is number 4, so we move on to number 5, Esna, for Brian Meehan, and a big ride here for Billy Lochnan. 6 is Venosa, we just heard from Michael Tabor, takes her chances, and we move on to the favourite.
Yep, Diamond Necklace, 2 out of 2 coming into this from a listed success over in Ireland, Christophe Soumillon, and then doubly represented the Wertheimer brothers. They could have a big day. They have a Green Spirit unbeaten in 4 and Ozone unbeaten in 2. So the jockeys already coming into the parade ring. doing. Let's have a look at some of these fillies. There we have David Egan. A good day yesterday, Jess, for Carl Burke. I just bumped into him here as I was coming over to the studio. He said, "Yeah, we've got chances, isn't it? Not favourites chances, but his horses are in with chances today."
I think he would want to run everything at the moment. He had a wonderful day yesterday, obviously, capped with Fallen Angel and the Sun Chariot. But I do like Aylin, horse number 2. She is a horse that has progressed big time, and her victory last time out was a big confidence boost for this daughter of St. Mark's Basilica, the same sire as Diamond Necklace. I think with her over Diamond Necklace, she will like the ground. She looks well in herself, as you say. Carl Burke can do no wrong at present, and I think just slightly, forgotten is what she has done prior to this and how her form ties in well with Diamond Necklace, with a line through the horse that was behind her in the Prestige Stakes, who Diamond Necklace beat by a couple lengths last time. So I think Aylin might just be slightly overpriced.
And here we are looking at the Ballydoyle duo Venosa, probably a front runner heading to the head of affairs, Darren, but Diamond Necklace looks a really useful filly.
Oh yeah, just to cast your mind back to that race at Leopardstown during the Dublin Racing Weekend. On that occasion, Diamond Necklace came from quite a fair way off the pace there to win that race over the 1400 metres, given some ride by Christophe Soumillon, but in the end she was well on top. She really does look exciting, but as we've already stated, the ground that these horses are going to face and encounter today is going to be the softest ground that these young horses have actually raced on.
Yeah, absolutely, very much a change. We've had a very, very warm summer across most of Europe, and Diamond Necklace. I had a quick chat to Aidan O'Brien about this filly yesterday, asking about the choice of the race, because after her success, it was only a listed race in Ireland, but she did it very well. Aidan O'Brien mentioned the Fillies Mile. Christophe Soumillon mentioned, I think it was on our colleagues with Racing TV, said he would like to see her in Paris for the Marcel Boussac. Here she is. Aidan O'Brien was saying they had a discussion about it. He thinks very highly of this filly, and he's won this race on several occasions before. And here's Christophe Furlong. I think this filly's not without a chance. Ozone, he thinks really highly of her. She comes in under the radar off a listed win at Lyon Paris, and second in that race last year was Francis Graffar's filly, who won this race. Vertical Blue, who won this race last year.
It was a bit dramatic, wasn't it, last year? There was so much anticipation on Zaragana. Vertical Blue beat her stable companion, and probably wasn't the result that Francis Graffard had expected, but two high-class fillies, and they really showed their presence against the European challengers, those from Ireland and England. It's always interesting to see at this time, Catherine, how good the French fillies are compared to the Irish and the English. Sometimes they're a little bit more underrated. You know how good they are. You've seen them. What do you feel?
Well, I know that Green Spirit is really, really highly regarded by Christopher Head, and you look at her performances. She's 4 out of 4. She's beaten everything that she's had to beat, including a few British and Irish raiders during her races. But as you say, often horses tend to stay a little bit at home until they really do get to the championship stage of their juvenile career. The French ones do anyway. You don't often see them going across the channel, especially for kind of Group 3, Group 2s. You know, Green Spirit's done everything wrong. And speaking about Ozone, Christophe Furlong sprung a surprise in this race 12 years ago with Wertheimer Brothers' second string, Indonésienne, ridden by a certain Flavien Prat at the time, Jess, who was a second string rider for the Wertheimer Brothers, and he's gone to fantastic things in the States.
Yeah, certainly. And it was interesting. I think it must have been a difficult decision for Maxime Guillaume which one he was going to choose. But taking the confidence in Green Spirit might be why this horse is a shortest price. But I just watching back her victory in the Group 3 at Deauville over 7 furlongs, she was even better over 1 Mark Longchamp beating Narissa, but had that slightly high head carriage I remember watching, which looked a little bit ungainly. Kingman's can do that just slightly, but I suppose she's 4 from 4 from a reason. As she gets backed every time she runs, she always comes into a short price, and she seems to be taking a good bit of support in the market now.
Well, let's have a look at some of them in action, and we'll have a look look at the Irish raider first of all with Ian Bartlett. It's a Diamond Necklace, Ian, winning this listed race at Leopardstown.
Yes, one of 2 races she's had so far. This was on slightly better ground than she's going to get today, and also over a little bit further, 1,400 metres. Blue and orange colours there. She was odds on, a 1 to 2 chance for this. As you can see, though, she doesn't get on top until well inside the last furlong or 200 metres, and was clearing away from her rivals. The ground is a big unknown, but based on that evidence there, you wouldn't worry about the extra 200 metres for her today.
Yeah, she's a daughter of St Mark's Basilica, the first crop of St Mark's Basilica, who was a classic winner here in France, and a kind of a Franco-Irish clash in this, with also short in the betting at about 2 to 1, a Green Spirit, and we can have a look at her last win here in France.
And she's had 4 runs in her career so far, Green Spirit. She began racing in the middle of May. She ran over today's course and distance on quite testing ground. Maybe today's a little bit softer. 1 from the right there, blue and white colours. In front of her at the moment is Narissa against the running rail, who reopposes today. And also Clea Chop is the brown jacket, red cap. She'll stay on into 3rd position. Now you can see Green Spirit had to work pretty hard in the closing stages here to get on top. She was, though, well on top at the line, and goes on to win by a length and a quarter. So she's got course and distance form. She's been on the go since May, and she is now 4 from 4.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to fault her. And Darren, looking at that race from Green Spirit, do you think there's any hope that the 2nd and 3rd horses behind her can turn the tables?
The horses can obviously improve with that experience, but that's the key word with Green Spirit, is experience. Along with Eileen, those horses, they've already had the 4 starts, and she's already displayed the ability to battle. You know, she had to fight there, and she had to sidestep a rival, was about 200 metres from home, but as Ian said, she was well on top at the end. And then just going back to Diamond Necklace, we saw the footage of Diamond Necklace. The key thing about the Diamond Necklace race, we saw Diamond Necklace there running the last 300 metres. It's to just switch back to about 600 metres and look at the position Diamond Necklace came from at Leopardstown. She did some running to win at Leopardstown.
Yeah, she did some running, and Christophe Soumillon put in some great rides during that weekend on her, and also on the Delacroix, both of them showing an absolutely astonishing turn of foot when push came to shove, as it were. So, you know, Diamond Necklace, she's only a listed winner. Often Aidan O'Brien comes into this race with Group 2 winners, even Group 1 winners, but this one almost unexposed as yet. Jess, I can see you think highly of her.
Yes, look, I was really taken by her. She wouldn't have been out of place in the Moyglare Stakes the next day, the Group 1, but they gave her this task because she had only had 1 run before her. Keep an eye on her at the start. She got a little bit upset in the stalls at Leopardstown, and Christophe came back and said that she did really well considering that. She said she was slightly impatient, and he said that she didn't jump out properly, and he had to change plans as he was quite far back. So I don't think he was expecting that to happen. So she did very well, and you can upgrade that performance. I just don't know with the ground whether that might just find her out a little bit. It's going to be really testing out there for her, and we know she's got a wonderful pedigree. She's related to the likes of Magic Wand and Chiquita. Whatever happens today, she's going to be one for the future. But I'm just siding with Aileen because I've got in her form bank heavy ground maiden winner, and I just think that she will be able to cope with the conditions a little bit better, and it's proven to that, and she's a nice price.
Well, we'll be able to hear more about her straight away with Fanny, who's with Carlberg.
So joining us is Carl Buck, who is saddling Aileen, one of the very smart fillies coming from England, and she gave us a nail biter in our last race.
She did. She staged the trip very well, and she needed every yard of the mile at Doncaster. She strengthened again physically from that. She loves soft ground, so I think it'll be a good fast pace. We'll be very handy with her.
You had 2 options. You could have gone to the Fillies Mile, but you chose to come here today. Why, and how is it going to be good for her?
We were going to go wherever the ground we felt was going to be softest. You know, she loves the soft ground, and Newmarket can dry up very quick, although it was fairly soft this weekend, but it can dry up quick. So I think this was always going to be the favourite.
And how is she right now, just before the race?
She's in great form, very relaxed, as you can see. She's taking it all in her stride, and we're very happy with her.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you.
fantastic season for Carl Burke. Fallen Angel, another Group 1 for her yesterday, and already a Group 1 winner with the juveniles in France with Venetian Sun, who beat the Colts in the Prix Morning. And I spoke to Carl a couple of weeks after that about his kind of classic hopes for 2026, and I was speaking about Venetian Sun. He's like, oh, maybe I've got some that are as good or even better than Venetian Sun with a classic perspective. So Ailin could well be among them, and interesting to hear that Carl concurring with what you thought, Jess, about the ground for her. So 12 to 1, 11 to 1 here in France, an interesting one to add to the equation.
Yes, certainly. Look, he's got an embarrassment of riches at present, doesn't he, Darren, with those 2-year-olds in both the Colts and filly division. I think the filly's probably even stronger than the Colts, but an important horse for Al Shakab Racing, for Ammo Racing as well, who joint own this filly. As I mentioned, she was third to Precise in the Prestige Stakes, who went on and won the Moyglare, and actually had Sakana behind her that day. He was only a couple legs behind Diamond Necklace, so that's my form link. We'll see if Diamond Necklace will improve today. I think that's the major thing. Is she even better than what we saw last time? She could really stamp her authority. Just a paddock note, and looking a little bit keen going down to post. Number 8 Greens, number 9 was Ozone, but 8 Green Spirit, she looked wonderful in the paddock. She really stood out physically, have such a lovely vantage to be able to see them. Venosa got a little bit warm, but 8 Green Spirit was definitely a standout from all these fillies.
Yeah, she's a nice looking filly. I've been fortunate to see her in the flesh a couple of times during her career already, and a lovely looking filly. There is Nerissa for Francis Graffa. What a season he's having. And Darren, maybe a word about British filly Esna. We haven't had much chat about her. Ridden by Billy Loughnane, kind of the young riding prodigy, and trained by Brian Meehan, who knows how to do the job with the juveniles and all horses.
And has got form in soft ground as well. And we all know when Sandown rides soft, it can be quite testing. And Esna won at Sandown. That was a few weeks ago. Went clear, just drifted, just showed a little bit of greenness inside the closing stages, but she can build on that. That's the thing.
It's certainly, she's a daughter of Starman out of a Galileo mare, so I think this trip will be interesting for her. She was very green, but she beat a very highly touted horse of William Haggis's that day, so she was against the Colts, which is something that I don't think many of these horses have done yet, so I was encouraged by that. A big ask, but confidence in what she has already done, and she's quite a tasty each way price.
And here they are circling down at the start. There is Diamond Necklace. Seems to be behaving herself quite well, seems quite relaxed. It's not a hot day, there's a bit of sunshine, but a nice breezy afternoon. No excuses weather-wise. And we're over the 1600 metres, the mile. One non-runner, of course, number 4 Bandiagara went through the sales yesterday evening, sold for just over €250,000 and has been scratched from the race. And they're getting in pretty soon, so we can join for the first time this afternoon for the live call Ian Bartlett.
And Esna going for to stall number 5, and Island Silver Jacket stall number 9 towards the outside for the opener of the day. 1600 metres, the mile. Qatar Prix Marcel Boussac, 2-year-old fillies, Group 1 race. 4 is a non-runner, but they are lined up, ready to go, and out they come. They begin their journey then, and dropping to the back, Ozone, distinguishing blue cap for her, Green Spirit on the left of picture, first colours, white cap showing out in front. The dark colours of Venosa is wide and going through to be the overall leader. Silver Jacket of Eileen is next, and then Diamond Necklace, who is in blue and orange colours. She just shades Esna in purple and white at the moment. Clear Chop a length and a half away. Yellow Jacket is 3 from the running rail. Against the rail, a blue cap for Ozone, and Nerissa, green and red colours, is at the back of the field as they head with just over 1,000 metres, 5 furlongs or so to go. Venosa very narrowly in front. From Green Spirit against the rails, travels strongly and neck behind in second place. 1 length off these is Ailin showing in third. Esna another 3 parts of a length back in 4th place. Diamond Necklace, 1 from the right of picture, blue and orange on the cap, is showing in 5th place over Ozone, and then comes Clear Chop, and right at the back of the field is Nerissa. But they are now approaching the home straight, And the longest priced runner, Venosa, will lead him into the home straight by less than a half length. From Green Spirit on the left in second position. Eileen, the silver jacket, encouraged along in third to get closer. Esner is behind these. Diamond Necklace, blue and orange towards the right, trying to come through with a challenge. Clear Chop is behind this, but they're well down the straight. And against the running rail, it is Green Spirit who shows in front. Eileen and Diamond Necklace are in second and third places. Diamond Necklace is closing down the centre. Green Spirit against the running rail in front. Diamond Necklace is getting up and wins with Sumion. Two in second position, Green Spirit. Esna, Narissa and Eileen in line to Clear Chop. Behind those was Ozone, and they are followed in then by Venosa at the rear of the field. So the favourite has won the first. For Aidan O'Brien, Michael Tabor, Christoph Sumin on board delivers Diamond Necklace number 7 to win by a length to Green Spirit number 8. It's a very tight thing for third place. There are three of them there. Narissa in green, Esna in purple and Eileen in the centre, number 2. Those the judge will sort out, but no doubt, Catherine, we begin with the winning favourite, Diamond Necklace.
Yeah, absolutely. Ireland to take first blood here at Paris Longchamp with a Diamond Necklace. 3 out of 3. Christophe Sumion just angling him out there. Darren 2 furlongs out, angling her out, sorry, at 2 furlongs out, and she really sweeps home nicely.
I really thought at the 400 that Maxime Guillon had stolen this aboard Green Spirit. Diamond Necklace was a good 2 or 3 lengths adrift. Islands held every chance, but just look at the quality Diamond Necklace shows inside the last 100 metres. She probably hit the front about 100 metres from home, and just well on top of Green Spirit, who's rather blind, loses nothing in defeat, as they say. Green Spirit has given a positive ride by Maxime Guillon, but I think we've just seen a real star. Well, have we just seen another Zakava, Mies, some of those greats that have won this race?
Well, possibly. And I mean, if you look at this filly's pedigree, Jess, there are plenty of superstars in this filly's pedigree, including her sisters. So the chances are definitely there.
Yeah, Magic One, Chiquita. She's a horse that will be primed for an Oaks, you'd imagine, next year. A lot of quality, a different kind of race to what she faced in Leopardstown last time. Christoph is pointing like this is a proper filly, because she broke a lot better today. She was a little bit keen early on. They went quite steady, but she found plenty, and she was hitting the line very hard indeed, in the manner of a horse that would just love that little bit extra. But the start of a very important day for Christophe Sumion. Hasn't he slotted into his position quite well? It wasn't easy in the first week or so when he got the call up to replace the injured Ryan Moore, but Irish Champions Weekend, and this filly actually got him a lot of confidence in this role, and so I think he'll be delighted that he started this day off in such a perfect manner.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Christophe Sumion will probably talk more in length about him and his career, and also this association he's having currently with Ballydoyle, while Ryan Moore is on the sidelines. But absolutely phenomenal jockey and phenomenal personality as well.
I'm concerned.
Great for his personality, great for his confidence to win this opener.
We've got 9 races on this card. That was race 1. How many whips and sets of goggles
He'll have a stock. I know him well. Yeah, so here he is holding his finger up, and Aidan O'Brien won this race, I think, on 5 occasions in the past with Found, who went on to win the Arc de Triomphe 2 seasons later with Ballydoyle, a couple of years ago with Opera Singer, Rumpelstiltskin, and so some nice shoes to fill. Misty for Me, also a past winner, and there Aidan is. Thumbs up, job done, made the good decision from this.
Aidan, okay.
And Fanny is with the winning trainer.
That's a great way to start the day, walking back with the whole O'Brien family after the first Group 1 win of Diamond Necklace. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Fanny. We're delighted. Christoph wanted to come here with her. Yeah, and how right he was. She's a lovely filly. She's obviously St. Mark's first Group 1 winner, first season. So incredible. Brett does an incredible job with her weighing rides and all her work. And yeah, Keith and Vadish and John, Seamus, everyone involved with her. So appreciate everybody. But she's give her a peach of a ride. We were worried if she was a little bit babyish to come here. She was only after having 2 easy races. But obviously the experience is going to do her good, and next year we think she's going to be obviously a classic filly. Anything from a mile up, she could even get a mile and a quarter, mile and a half, you know. So
that's very exciting. Of course, we're missing Ryan. We're thinking about him today. An exciting day. We may not have a chance to chat with you before the Arc. So a quick word on Los Angeles and Mini Hawk.
Yeah, very happy. Los Angeles, we always felt would handle an ease in the ground. He's been trained with this race in mind all year. Mini Hawk is in good form. It's her first, obviously will be her first time on ground as slow as that, but she is in good form and everything has went well with her in all her race up to now and her prep. So hopefully she runs well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fanny. Appreciate it.
Fantastic job by Aidan O'Brien. Fantastic job from Fanny as well to get in there and get the first winning reaction from Aidan O'Brien. A huge day for him once again here at Paris Longchamp on Arc Day, and he is coming into the rest of the day in confidence mode following a diamond necklace. So elogious words from him, Jess, Darren, about this filly and her potential for the future.
Yeah, I mean, as Jess has already alluded to, I mean, it's just a beautiful pedigree. And Aidan has stated, a mile and a quarter, hopefully a mile and a half. I mean, yes, we're looking at a serious classic prospect for next year.
And she was cost a pretty penny. She was a buy from Arcana. So congratulations to Cure de Monceau, who do so well, but didn't cost a small sum in 1.7 million euros. So she was a horse as a yearling who always looked like she was going to be a big proposition, but she's definitely been rewarded with that. A big day for St. Mark's Basilica, his first Group 1 as a freshman stallion. That's a serious achievement. She's booked her spot into the Breeders' Cup fillies turf. Whether she'll go there, we'll see, but look, she's done everything she needs to do at 2 already.
Yeah, and Aidan O'Brien does often go stateside with his top fillies, so you wouldn't rule it out, although he didn't mention it, but you wouldn't rule it out. And as you say, St. Mark's Basilica, he was a superstar in his career, double classic winner here in France, winning the French Guineas and the Prix du Jockey Club, also the Irish Champion Stakes and the Eclipse, and making the best possible starts to his stallion career. And there the winning connections, Christophe Soumillon, there's Sophie Talman, Christophe Soumillon's wife, and Fanny is with Pierre-Yves Bureau, who manages the interests of the Wertheimer brothers, who were second in this race and also have Aventure later this afternoon.
It's an exciting day for the Wertheimers family, Pierre-Yves Bureau and all the team of the Arad Saint-Léonard, of course, Adventure and Sozy in the Arc. But first, can we have your reaction to Green Spirit finishing a really good second in the Prix Marcel Boussac?
Yeah, really good second. A bit disappointed, just when you see this filly, but she was just beaten by a better filly today. So congrats to all Coolmore's team. And no, she ran great. She's a very good filly. That's the first time she's defeated, but no, I think Maxime said she had a very nice turn of foot. So I think it was quite a strong race. So no, we're very happy, and she will be a good filly for next year.
Good nighttime will be racing in the Prix Jean-Luc Lagardere. How is it?
He's doing very well. He knows he won here on the 7th furlongs track, so he knows everything good. I just I'm just wondering if he has enough speed against real sprinters, but I think he will be better on a mile and a quarter next year. But we'll see. He's a good horse. He's in good form, so hopefully we'll be there in the first 3.
Of course, we cannot talk to you without mentioning Adventure and Sozy, 2 exciting chances in the Arc.
Yes, very excited. A year ago they ran 2nd and 4th, and the plan was to come back next year. We're there today, so that's the first very good challenge, and well done to all the teams, because it looks easy, but it's not so easy to keep the top horses at this level. So no, very nice, excited. As you know, Aventure, she doesn't mind about the ground. It's quite heavy, and we'll see Sozy. Of course, it's not his best ground, but I think he's stronger as well than last year. So hopefully he can handle it well. Adventure
was very impressive in our Prix Vermeil. How has she come up from that race?
She's perfect. She's very easy. She's a light filly, so she's quite easy. She won very nicely, very impressive, and hopefully she will keep going for later today.
And Sozy already has won 3 Group 1s, and you've done a jockey swap. You've got the same jockeys, but you exchange them from last year.
Well, exactly. That's Maxime's choice. He has always the first choice. I think the forecast on the ground was a big time in his decision about what he could say. We see that was less problem with the ground with Aventure, so probably a part of the choice.
And how happy is Mr. Fabre with the way that Sosie has done in the past 3 weeks?
He's very happy. The horse is the horse is in good form. We'll see if what I can see, but they are both good horses.
Thank you very much. Wish you all.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Pierre-Yves Bureau, second in the opener, but big hopes for the Wertheimer brothers later this afternoon. There's the official result of this first one, Diamond Necklace from Green Spirit, and it was Narissa for the Aga Khan Studs in a close battle for third ahead of Esna. Christophe Soumillon coming out for the winners podium, and we can maybe take a look through the replay of the race. Darren, see how Diamond Necklace did it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Diamond Necklace started alertly today compared to Leopardstown, and turning into the straight, she was a lot closer to the pace. She was fair way off the pace at Leopardstown. Let's have a look now at her braking, and good even dispatch. Green Spirit up along the inside, made the running in the hands of Maxime Guillon. And I say Diamond Necklace brakes alertly, then just Christophe just takes her back a length or two with the stable companion Venosa trying to take on Green Spirit, and Eileen also ridden prominently with Narissa. Now that's 3 times Narissa's finished behind Green Spirit, sitting at the back end of the field. Visually, it was a steady pace.
Yeah, it certainly was. You see, Narissa's probably not in as good of a rhythm as a couple of the others. I thought at this stage, Eileen was the one that was travelling lovely, and as we touched upon, Diamond Necklace was a little bit more forwardly placed than she had done the last time. This was a truly run race when they came round the bend, but as you pointed out, Darren, it was Green Spirit as they turned and got to the 400 that is looking very much in control of it, but potentially travelling too nicely in the hands of Maxime Guillon. Didn't have much choice but to probably kick on as they came into the straight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got first run on them. He's the one who's committed for home before everybody else. Here they are now turning in at the 500. Pace increases. We've got the cutaway as well. You can see the cutaway there, and he goes towards the rail aboard Green Spirit. Eileen at this stage, David Egan, arse Eileen, just didn't have that gear change there, Eileen.
No, I'd love to see her head on, but I think she looks a little bit awkward. She's hanging quite slightly. Esna in the purple and white has done really well for a big price, and the experience that she had. I thought she's ran a mighty race to really hit the line very nicely. But look where Narissa's come from, considering she was at the back and she never really looked that comfortable early on. She's actually run really nicely, and there's substance to the form there, because of course Narissa was behind Green Spirit the last time.
Absolutely, it's strong form, no excuses, it's strong form.
Yeah, certainly a strong race where I think we'll be talking about a lot of these fillies next season.
Yeah, we often get to some very, very nice fillies in the Marcel Boussac, and we look as though we have done once again, and just catching the end of the winning podium there. Christophe Soumillon, we can see up there the Coolmore connections, Michael Tabor, who spoke to Fanny, Paul Smith, Aidan O'Brien, and we've also got Henri Bozo just coming up, the Supremo of the Écurie des Monceaux, one of the big powers in French breeding, and they sold this filly for 1.7 million euros at the Arcana August sales last summer. And the mare Prudencia, what a producer, what a mare she has been for them. Already come up with Magic Wand and Chiquita, and this one looks all up as good as they were. Funny, keeps coming up with good fillies, Jess. Yeah. She seems to enjoy the feminine side.
And there was a daughter of Night of Thunder that went through the sale ring for €3 million at Arcana. Ammo Racing have that horse, so there might be another sibling following in this footsteps maybe this time next year.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can already place a bet on her or not, but yeah, really, really nice family, and great to see them doing so well with her. And so they come down off the podium. Christophe Soumillon, good start for the day for him, and we can have a quick look back at the best moments of this Qatar Prix Marcel Boussac before the next race, which will be for the Colts. And it's now a turn of the colts in this Qatar Prix. Jean-Luc Lagardere, a furlong shorter this race. The distance is going to be 1,400 metres, 7 furlongs, 9 of them will be lining up. They're currently in the stable yard, but let's take a look at the runners and riders.
Is Henri Gravard, Mikel Barcelona aboard, and the stable companion is number 2, Vardif. Number 3, Composite, with Jean-Claude Rouget represented by this 3 times winner.
4 is Full Godolphin, Time to Turn, William Buick on board for Charlie Appleby. 5, Puerto Rico, hoping to give Aidan O'Brien and Christophe Soumillon a quick double. And 6 is A Bitter Spirit, Ross Orion teaming up with Clive Cox.
And the third table, Cielo de Roma, outsider for Alexis Pouchin, and Maison Lafitte-based Italian Gianluca Bertolini. Christopher Head bidding for redemption with Night Time, who's just got beaten in the opener. Night Time coming in off 3 wins, and then a huge outsider at the bottom of the field, Imperial Mi Sen. Augustin Madame recently changed a trainer, now with Paolo Olave Valdivieso, a Spanish trainer based in the southwest of France. But an interesting little race, this one, Darren, and the money is currently on Raif for Francis Graffard, the Aga Khan Studs, and Michael Barcelona.
Yeah, horse who's coming here unbeaten, a son of See the Moon. Won a Group 3 at Deauville last time, was held up on that occasion, but won by a nice 2.5 lengths and was well in command at the finish. So it's the perfect 2 from 2 coming here this afternoon.
Yeah, and they're currently down in the stable yard, the pre-parade ring area. This is Night Time, Christopher Head, a young trainer from a great dynasty of trainers, son of Freddie Head, grandson of Alec Head, and already had some very, very good results, classic winners. And there's Imperial Misen. They're just making their way now into the parade ring. Maybe time for us to look at a couple of VTs, see how some of these horses have been doing in their recent races. We can look at the last race of Night Time, Ian.
Yeah, Night Time has had 4 runs so far. He's won the last 3 of those. His only defeat was the 2nd place on his debut. Only 4 runners over today's course and distance on the 11th of September. Also in the race is Vardif, green colours. He's the last of them at the moment. Night Time, 2 runners from the same ownership. He's in the white cap. Takes his time to get through and win the race. He beats a horse called Komorebi in the blue, and Vardif in the green, running on in the closing stages as well. Pretty soft ground on that day, probably a little bit more testing today, but it's a course and distance victory for Night Time. 3 from 4 so far. Ground shouldn't be an issue, continues to improve.
Well, we had a clash in the opener between Christopher Head, the Wertheimer brothers, and the Ballydoyle team, and potentially a similar competition in this one as well, adding in Narissa to the mix. But we can have a look at Puerto Rico winning at Doncaster, and that form got a nice boost yesterday here at Paris-Longchamp.
Yes, Puerto Rico, this was his first run at 7 furlongs, his first victory as well. He's got 5 defeats over 6 furlongs or 1,200 metres before this victory. He made all the running in this, beat Oxagon and Cape Orator, who won here, it's the pink cap, yesterday afternoon. Now it'll be interesting to see tactically, because obviously he made the running last time out. He had been very slowly away the time before that, so we don't know exactly what tactics he wants, but most significantly, obviously the trip will be no problem because he won over it last time out, but this is by far the softest ground he will ever have encountered.
Yeah, what do we make of Puerto Rico, Darren? Were you there at Doncaster when he won? A horse that's got plenty of experience. It was his first win there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was his first win. But he'd been dining
in good company,
with exalted company. And let's just pay tribute to Wootton Bassett, who actually won this very race back in 2010, and Wootton Bassett responsible for Puerto Rico and Nighttime. But yes, made all to win. We've already mentioned the form got a great boost yesterday when Cape Orator
won the valuable sales race,
and did everything wrong. Was very keen in that race yesterday, but still won the race. So the form was given a great boost. So Puerto Rico has got that good top form from the Champagne Stakes, but the ground's going to be an interesting key.
And Jess, as you would expect from a Ballydoyle Coolmore representative, nice breeding.
Oh, certainly. He's a super looking horse. He looks a little bit like his sire, actually, coming past that lovely dark black colour to him. But he was a big price to win the Champagne Stakes. He wasn't exactly favoured. I think he had a bit to prove. I love the ride that Sean Levy gave him that day. It was actually over the weekend of the Irish Champions weekend. So Christophe Soumillon over in Ireland, Sean Levy came in for it. I just will be interested, as Ian has quite rightly pointed out, the tactics, whether he will be given that positive ride again. You don't want to be too green in a race like this. This has cost a couple of horses in the past. I think he just looked a little bit idle when he got to the front last time out, Puerto Rico. But Christophe Soumillon won this race last year with a well-timed hold-up ride. So let's see what happens. It's a bit of a puzzle, but I have to say this race has been fabulous over the years. 3 subsequent classic winners came from this race last year: Henri Matisse, Camille Pissarro and Field of Gold. Do we have that kind of quality here? I think the jury's out a little bit for me.
Yeah, possibly not quite such strength in depth this year. And looking at the pedigree of Puerto Rico, the dam, a half-sister to Misty for Me and also to Ballydoyle, who both won the Prix Marcel Boussac in their days. So plenty of precocity for this family, and Aidan O'Brien, as you mentioned, won it last year with Camille Pissarro, who's won it on several occasions. So Puerto Rico, just an incredibly big price there, 6-1 currently on the PMU. Let's talk about the French favourite. It's Raif, Francis Graffard. What a season he's having! 10 Group 1 wins in France, England, and in Germany. Really dining on the top table here in France, heading the French Championship ahead of the master trainer André Fabre, and just plans everything so meticulously. He's so good with the media, he's so good with his owners, and really great to see him doing so well. Can he win with Raif?
Well, I think he's got a fabulous chance. This is my selection. His running style could work really well, as he was held up at Deauville, came off the pace and won very impressively. He was actually 6-1 that day, so not really expected, and on paper was a weaker race than this, but he's got the potential to improve. Another horse with a fascinating pedigree by the German Derby winner See the Moon, but got the speed influence from his dam side. His half-sister Rakeva was due to run in the Prix de l'Abbé later on, but has got a lot of speed. She's obviously by Blue Point, but very precocious for a See the Moon. We don't normally see them starting so early and doing so well at 2, but quite rightly, as you said, Francis Graffard, this could be a cherry on top on what's been an absolutely marvellous season. And of course, we've got those 3 runners for him in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll be heading stateside and internationally towards the end of the year, so plenty more Group 1 opportunities for Francis Graffard. The bell rings for the jockeys to get mounted up. Just Raif, I have a slight concern. The maternal side don't really like the soft ground, although he is by See the Moon, so that should mean that he goes well on the ground. He's a half brother to Rayevka, who was a leading hope in the Abbey, but she's been scratched. And Jess, the selection's just been going round. I see that you put up a bit of spirit among your placed options, and Fanny caught up with Clive Cox, his trainer, a few moments ago. She's actually with a guest right now, so we'll go to the guest live first, and then we'll catch up with Clive Cox in a few moments.
Yes, we're with Nemani Ralph, who represents the Aga Khan studs, with 2 very interesting runners in Raif and Vardif. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, well, Raif is unbeaten in 2 starts. He made huge progress from his first and second start. He won a Group 3 really impressively in August, but the ground was slightly different that day. It was good fast ground. It's a bit softer today, so that's a sort of question mark, but he's a very laid-back horse with a big turn of foot, so another big step up for him today, but he's in good form. We've been very happy with him since his last run, so we'll see how he goes.
And Vardif is very impressive also physically.
Yeah, he's a very impressive looking horse. He finished third in the prep race for this, but we were giving him a very conservative ride that day. We wanted him to make sure he got the trip. He was the least experienced in the field. Very happy with his run that day. He took it very well, hardly lost any weight. So we'll be riding him a bit more offensively today. And yeah, both of them are in great form, and we're just hoping for good runs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck to the Aga Khan studs. They've had a good season. Calandigan, of course, a big name for them, and also Zarigana coming up later, and Dariz. But we promised you Clive Cox. Here he is speaking to Fanny a few moments ago.
Clive Cox trains number 6, A Bit of Spirit, very aptly named.
Very much so, but he's grown into a very mature and positive performer, and we're very pleased with his Group 3 success last time.
That was a very impressive effort.
He showed a lot of determination and a lot of ability. The form of the race has worked out really nicely, with Brian Meehan's horse winning at Group 3 level next time. This is a step up, clearly. But he's got a few familiar faces that he's taken on in the past, and we're very hopeful he can produce a similar effort to last time.
How has he improved in the last couple of weeks?
I think mentally he's really developed and really impressed me with his whole demeanour. So this time of year, obviously, the soft ground is an ingredient that we've not seen a lot of through the middle of summer, but last time was soft at Sandown, so I hope we can deal with that as well.
Thank you so much. We wish you the very best.
It's a pleasure.
Well,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you very much.
The ground, a question mark for many of these horses, and that one among them. One horse that I'd like to speak about, Jess, is the Godolphin horse, Time to Turn, trained by Charlie Appleby. We've had several Godolphin winners of this race, none trained by Charlie Appleby. We haven't seen the horse for a while. What do we make of him?
Yes, that would be the concern for me. I think you're spot on there. We have not seen him for a while. Last seen running at Ascot, where he won. That was 72 days ago. He actually beat A Bit of Spirit that day, who's gone and franked the form. He is by Dark Angel, so he's got a bit of speed there out of a Galileo mare. But Charlie Appleby's been quoted to say that he thinks he'll appreciate the ground conditions and his homework has been good. He thinks that he has a bit to find on ratings, but he heads here in great order. It just would concern me for whatever reason that he's been off for some time. I saw him come past me looking a little bit warm than some of the others, but there are some real standouts in the paddock. Your selection 8 Nighttime looking like a real bull of a horse. He's got a lot of size and scope. He's a type you'd imagine that's going to get better, but these Wootton Bassets, they all have so much presence, and Puerto Rico, also by the same stallion, was also a bit of an eye catcher.
Yeah, absolutely, and as Darren reminded us, Wootton Bassett won this race back in 2010 for Richard Fye. He was a long shot on that occasion, started his career at kind of not really in fanfare here in France, and what a success he's been, and what a loss to the Bloodstock world when he unfortunately lost his life a couple of weeks ago. So it would be nice if one of his sons looks pretty well represented in this race, and so he could get a bit of a posthumous glory in this race. As they canter down to post, here is the number 6 that we spoke about, A Bit of Spirit. One horse that I'd like to mention is, I can see, Darren, you want to speak about one?
Well, A Bit of Spirit,
yeah.
Basically, yeah, because just listening to Clive there, he said the form's worked out, and it has. Now, it was a blanket finish to the Solario Stakes. It was only half a length covering the first 4, but when you just dissect the form looks pretty strong. The second has won since. The third was Humidity, who ran in, behind Bo Echo last week, finished second behind Bo Echo in the Royal Lodge. And the thing A Bit of Spirit has got is that ability to act in soft ground, and has got quite a bit of experience coming here.
Yeah, he certainly has. He was really gritty and determined, as Fanny quite rightly mentioned. He showed spirit to win the Solario Stakes, which is the race that Field of Gold won as his prep race into this last year. So I do like him. He's not the biggest of horses. He's by Palace Pier, another first season sire. But I like the fact that Clive said that mentally he seems to be improving. He'll need to today. He'll definitely be grinding it out at the finish, and he's another one that might just go forward and try try and control the race, as we saw the second place horse try and do last time. But I think it might just benefit those closes, and that's why I'm siding with Raif.
Okay, and so just I'd like to mention this horse that we can see here, the number 3, Campacit, dropping down, won over a mile at Deauville during the August meeting for trainer Jean-Claude Rouget. And Rouget that day was really effusive in his praise about Campacit, who's won 3 of his 4 outings, including that success in a listed contest at Deauville. Comes from the family of Batwan, who's been a really popular international performer, notably in Dubai, and really highly regarded. When he won that race at Deauville, Jean-Claude Rouget did straight away mention that this could be a target for him. He's ridden by Marvin Grandin, who won't be very familiar for the international viewers of our programme today, but he's a jockey. He's based down in the south of France, but he's getting more and more opportunities, and he does have the confidence of Jean-Claude Rouget. He was based a lot down in Marseille, rode horses for people like Cédric Rossi in the past, but it'll be a big day for him. I think it will be his first Group 1 race, but he can get the job done if the horse is good enough, so maybe an interesting each-way option for Campacité, a son of a Zarak, and he should enjoy the underfoot conditions.
Well, he knows the horse, doesn't he? Yeah. He's ridden the horse and to those wins at Deauville in Saint-Cloud. You mentioned Jean-Claude Rouget. Good to see Jean-Claude back on the track. And just tell us a little bit about the operation there, because he has a satellite yard. Is that right?
He used to have a satellite yard. He had the glory days, of course, winning his 2 arcs with Sotsas and with Ace Impact. Then, unfortunately, he had real health problems. He had cancer problems for about 12 months, but he's better now, and it was great to see him back in the winners' enclosure here on Bastille weekend with Leffard, who won the Grand Prix de Paris. But due to those problems, he's scaled down a little bit, so now he's only based in Pau, although he does have some horses that he just have a box or 2 in Deauville, but very much just the major base in Pau. And he's had a few good horses this season. He's not numerically as powerful as he was in kind of 2 or 3 years ago, but he can still get the job done, and it would be nice to see him with a big runner today. And just as they're circling down at the start of this Jean-Luc Lagardere, Fanny got a close look at them in the paddock, and what was your impressions, Fanny?
I have to say Puerto Rico was absolutely massive and impressive. Nighttime also was very very strikingly looking, and of the 2 Aga Khan horses, I love Raif the best, but I have to say Vardif is also a very strong model. Now, sometimes these 2-year-olds, when they're massive, they also need to know how to use that power in those muscles, so it can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear from Nemini Routh about Vardif notably, and the trial race, and it did sound like he would come on from that. Jess, any last thoughts?
Yes, I did think Vardif could give a better account of himself in a more truly run race. I just don't think the race panned out for him, but as they said, that was just a prep into this. But 2 lovely looking sorts, Raif and Vardif, for the Aga Khan. But you can see Raif just thinking about things before they go into the stalls. It'll be interesting to see, a little bit like our first race, how the pace will pan out for this.
Yeah, and they're going in pretty swiftly once again, so I think we can almost head over and join Ian Bartlett up in the commentary position.
As Puerto Rico, winner of a Group 2 in his most recent start, goes in, we have on the left Blue and White Nighttime, on the right Cielo de Roma in the green and yellow. Going to be the last 2 to go in, just a little bit bigger than even money locally. Raif number 1 as the market leader. There is Nighttime. He's about 3.5 to 1. That is it. They are all in. 1,400 meters. They get away from the stalls. It'll be the second winning post here. A long run down the start. In dark blue, Puerto Rico is well into stride. On the left, Campacit, Nighttime, Blue and White 1 off the running rail. A bit of spirit, yellow and dark blue, comes to join Puerto Rico in front. Behind those is Vardif, first in the Aga Khan studs colours, runs a share of 4th place with Nighttime. Then Time to Turn in the royal blue off towards the running rail. Blue and White of Imperial Misen is next. Raif market leader 1 from the right of picture. Cielo de Roma, yellow sleeves, is at the rear. They're coming to the home turn. It's a long run down the straight here. Puerto Rico about a half length ahead. A bit of spirit shaken up in second position. Camperseat is behind these. The white face of Vardif towards the right behind the leaders. Nighttime in the centre, blue with the white sleeves. Then Imperial Misem with time to turn, going for a run towards the running rail. And then comes Rayef beginning progress now. But it is Puerto Rico as they head down with less than 300 metres to go. And Puerto Rico and Sumion have got a 2-length lead here. Nighttime is running in second position. Then comes Rayef up on the outside. Camperseat, Imperial Misem is there. But Puerto Rico is going to follow up the good win last time and wins in style here. 2.5 lengths ahead. Nighttime was behind him in second position, but so far it is Aidan O'Brien and Christophe Soumillon. The two-year-old Group 1s have gone to them. 5 Puerto Rico in good style. Nighttime in second position. Rayef has moved through to be a length and a half further back in third. Camperseat and Imperial Misem, the judge will be called on to split those. Very tight for fourth place, but there was no doubt he got out well, and like a Doncaster, he stayed in front the whole way. Puerto Rico the winner.
Yeah, Aidan O'Brien, that man again, 2 from 2 with the juveniles today, and Christophe Soumillon there winning from the front to 5.81. A photo for fourth place between numbers 3 and 9 in this Jean-Luc Lagardere. Darren just looking admiratively at this performance.
Absolutely. I mean, this horse has made every yard of it, or virtually every yard of it, in the hands of Christophe. I was a bit concerned about the ground because the form had been basically on good ground before coming here, but no such issue. We did say that the form was franked. The form was franked from Doncaster yesterday when Cape Orator won the sales race. The perfect ride here from Christophe. He's really put them to the sword at the top of the straight. Nighttime has kept on, but just couldn't really mount that serious challenge. And then Rayef has stayed on. That was another stellar performance, and it's another winner for Wootton Bassett.
Yeah, and another win for Aidan O'Brien. A very different type of 2-year-old to the filly in the first. So this is a horse that took up to his 6th run to break his maiden tag, and I think they've just worked out how to get the best out of him, ride him positively, give him that confidence from the front, and Christophe Soumillon has delivered a bit of a masterpiece. He is thrilled with that. As I said, 2 very different types of horses, but very, very spectacular in their running styles. And another win for Wootton Bassett in this race. Camille Pissarro, a son of his, won this last year, and he went on to win a classic in France the next year. This horse could be the same. But yes, he's going to run out of whips. He keeps throwing them all to the crowd.
I told you he'll have a stock. He'll have a stock of whips, a stock of glasses. Christophe is great with the public. He's great with the children as well. He has his jockey school. We can talk about that, so we've got a little bit more time. But look, big smiles. He's absolutely living his best life at the moment. And look at this horse. What a lovely, expressive head he's got. Wootton Bassett. And this is the 10th success in this Jean-Luc Lagardere for Aidan O'Brien. He's so good with the colts.
Yeah, and he might not be over yet. He seems to really relish running. He seems to be getting better as the year goes on. He's got an entry in the Dewhurst. He's another horse that's booked his spot into the Breeders' Cup, whether they'll take it. And to your point, Darren, he's showed himself to be very versatile. Both these 2-year-olds now have completed a race on much more testing conditions that they've had for before. But I think his running style could suit America because he seems to like to get on with it out in front. Those head-on angles are very interesting because you can see that he was still drifting. He's probably getting a little bit lonely out in front.
I did think maybe about a furlong out. I thought, is he going to stop him? Maybe just thought, he'd been in front, and then he just did really knuckle down nicely again once Christophe got him to work. Never really looked like being beaten, but just one slight moment I thought, is he going to stop? No, he's not. And Pat Keating travels the world with these horses. Big weekend for them, and Christophe Soumillon absolutely loving it. Huge smiles in his mid-40s now. Shaking hands once again with Aidan O'Brien. I spoke to him on Thursday evening. France Gallo organised an opening launch evening for Arc de Triomphe weekend, and Christophe said he'd been over to Ireland. He'd spent 3 days at Ballet d'Oil. It was the first time he'd actually been there to ride out, and he said it was just amazing. He said, everything is just absolutely perfect, nothing left to chance. Aidan O'Brien, what a maestro. I mean, we knew that, but Christophe Soumillon was absolutely blown away by it. And Christophe.
Now in the parade ring, Puerto Rico, and what a win.
Well,
he was a standout in the race. I don't know about in the bride ring, but Jeeves, he was never in trouble, was he?
No. Yeah.
Aidan, what did he show you today, and where to next?
Yeah, that's what you said, Fanny. Like you said, he's a physical, unbelievable, big, powerful, strong horse. Christophe gave him a beautiful ride. It'll depend on whatever the lads, Derek and the lads, think of where he'll go, whether he'll be finished for the year or whether he'll go to the Breeders' Cup. But it'll depend on what the lads do, I suppose. And they'll talk. Derek and Michael will talk to Christophe when they go in, and they'll make a plan from then. So it'll be interesting to see what Christophe thinks.
But mission accomplished for him today. Great job.
Absolutely. Thanks, Fanny. Appreciate it. Thanks, Fanny.
Yeah, congratulations to Aidan and all the Coolmore and Boyle teams. As Fanny said, a mission accomplished, and there will be some discussions going on in the next few days between Aidan, between the Coolmore lads, and also Christophe Soumillon and probably Ryan Moore, who I imagine is not far away or certainly very much in front of a screen to look at all these horses very much, even though he's not on board at the moment. He's sidelined through injury, but I know that Christophe Soumillon speaks to him very regularly, and they do exchange about these horses, and this one looking like another champion coming from the Coolmore factory.
Yes, I think for Ryan Moore is probably watching it through gritted teeth, slightly missing out the opportunity to ride these big Group 1 winners, but I think he'd be very much approving of the way Christophe has been riding these horses. But you've got to remember, being on his home turf with Aidan O'Brien horses, we know how well Christophe rides Longchamp. I think it was harder when he was coming over to tracks in England he's not run up before, or over in Ireland, but here there's so much more confidence. And as you say, he's been to Ballydoyle, he sat on Mini Hawk, which was very important because she is a horse that probably takes a little bit of knowing, but these 2-year-olds, he seems to just be very good at educating them and getting the best out of them, and that's been fabulous to see. Henri Matisse, who was 4th in this race last year, went on to the Breeders' Cup, but I think they wanted to get that Group 1 into his name. I think now this horse has got a Group 1 into his name, maybe they don't need to prove anymore as a 2-year-old, but he just looks like he's enjoying his racing, and as we say, he looks like a horse that might just benefit from even more opportunities, whether that might be again out in Del Mar.
Yeah,
Wouldn't surprise you, would it, if he rocked up, because he's what's he got, a month?
Just under a month until the first day, which is on the 31st of October, which is the juvenile day. And look, they love having their horses race all over the world. We know how well Christophe enjoys the Breeders' Cup too, when teaming up with the Ballydoyle team, but any team he does. And it will be interesting, but very much the type of horse, I think, Darren, which is possibly a contrast to the filly in the first.
Yeah, bounce out, make all, round the tight turns in America, good ground, fast ground.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, and certainly a tough cookie, because this was race 7 for his career, which is quite a lot for this standard of juvenile, and obviously absolutely relishing it, as is Aidan O'Brien, as is Michael Tabor. We can see there on the right, that's one of Christophe Soumillon's sons, and look at him, he's got his head up a little bit, but yeah, lovely, strong, really expressive horse. The late Wooten Bassett, won't he be missed, but he's got plenty of successes in the pipeline already, and this one will be among them.
He wandered around at Doncaster.
He did, and that was worrying me coming into this race, that he looked a little bit green, but I think that's obviously his style, because he just has to go out in the front. Nothing is coming to him, so he's probably getting a little bit lonely, isn't he? And there were a few horses coming, but nothing close.
Well, let's see exactly how he did it as they jump out of the stalls over the 7 furlong course.
Yes, he's jumped out alertly, and of course we're paying tribute to Wooten Bassett. Wooten Bassett responsible for the first 2, not just the winner here. A bit of spirit, a little bit keen there on the outside in the yellow and blue quarters for Ross Orion. He managed to get settled after about 200 metres or so. Compass seat, but a nice position, and no excuse there from night time, because night time is just tracking the leaders there. And the Wertheimer blue and white would be about 2.5-3 lengths off the pace, but basically it was Christophe who was playing the tune. He was the bandmaster as they turned into the straight. Now, just looking for that pace increase. Here they are, because of course they had 600 metres to run up the pace, run up the straight. Here was the second winning post. Now let's just look to see where he just starts to crank things up, probably gradually now cranking things up. Bit of spirits, lost ground, and then Maxime Guillon thinks, right, it's time to go with night time. Reyes come from a bit back, a fair way way off the pace, but no excuses in behind. It was just a perfect ride.
A perfect ride. The only horse that took my eye was number 7, Cielo di Roma, who was coming home with a bit of a wet sail late on, but nothing was going to get close to him. Night times ran well. I think Raif had every chance to get there, but nothing really possessed the turn of foot. And I think when you've got a horse that's just controlling the race and is enjoying himself so much out in front, there's not much you can do. Again, the Wertheimers have had to settle for second. They've got a very good horse in night time, but he's just been beaten by a horse that's just been able to control it and find that little bit extra in the closing stages.
Yeah, toughness and class from Puerto Rico for the Aidan O'Brien and Christophe Soumillon team, and they're getting ready for the prize giving for this Jean-Luc Lagardere. And speaking about Christophe, you mentioned his riding style, and just in the past couple of years, Jess, I found him to be so much better at kind of educating his horses. At one point he was very, very tough on his horses, but now you can see he's thinking about the next race. Obviously he's going all out to win today's race, but really, really intelligent rider, I think.
And it's interesting to hear from Aidan that he was very much a big part of the fact that Dime Necklace came to France. He's having a big say. He's understanding the horses, as you say, but he's also giving them rides that will help them going forward. He obviously studied his race at Doncaster and saw how well he did from the front, but he probably knew as well it would help him being in that position in a racetrack like Longchamp. But as you say, Christophe is just enjoying this second stage of his career, is a later stage you could say, but also when you have the responsibility of these Ballydoyle horses, what an opportunity, and he's really relishing every moment.
He really is, and I think he's being really gracious about it, because when it first came about and all the interviews, he was very much paying tribute to Ryan Moore and saying what an honour it is for him to step into Ryan Moore's shoes. And I was talking to him earlier last week about this, and I said to him, I remember a few years ago, going back 15 years or so, at Royal Ascot one evening, we went out for dinner with him and former champion jockey Dominique Burf, and we were saying, who's the best jockey? And Christophe Soumillon at the time said it's Ryan Moore. He just doesn't get things wrong, and he still thinks that very much, as all the Ballydoyle team come up onto the winning podium. Here's Paul Smith, one of the Coolmore lads. Derek Smith up there as well, Michael Tabor, of course, and Aidan O'Brien coming up for the second time today. Plenty of chances during the afternoon he will have. And Christophe Soumillon will be next. This horse bred by the April Showers Syndicate by Wooten Bassett. And 2 Group 1s today. Christophe Soumillon, round of applause from the Longchamp crowd here for the man of the day so far.
And would he be a recognisable figure with the general public?
Unfortunately not.
No.
The general public on the race course, but I think if you went and walked around the Arc de Triomphe roundabout, he wouldn't be bothered by the general public, unfortunately, because he is a superstar and a real character. And just a few moments ago, he spoke to Fanny.
Christophe, well done, 2 for 2.
Listen, when you ride for it, and it's so easy to do amazing things. His horses, they're so professional. He jumped out the gate so well. I rode him for himself. He won from the front last time, and I didn't want to change anything. And he picked up so good when I asked him to quicken. He loves the ground. He showed that last time also. And now it's an amazing trainer, amazing team with Coolmore and everybody. And I have a big thought about Ryan too, because he gave me a lot of great information about all these horses. And I know what bitter savor it can be to be on front of the TV and see your horses winning. But I'm proud to be on his seat.
A quick word on Diamond Necklace, because I know they're waiting for you.
She's an amazing filly. I think she has so much class. It's a long time I didn't ride a filly like her, so no, I'm very happy. She did everything perfectly, so no, I think she's going to be a great filly for next season.
Well done, and keep them coming.
Thank you.
Puerto Rico has almost come from nowhere.
The Belgian maestro Christophe Soumillon on flying form so far here at Paris-Longchamp, but also Fanny, who's been really busy getting all the important interviews so far for our 2 juvenile races. It was Puerto Rico who won the Jean-Luc Lagardere. Let's have a look back at our 2 opening contests before we come back for the speedsters in the Abbey. Those were the juveniles, but coming up next is the Prix de l'Abbaye de Longchamp Longines. All ages lining up in this contest. Finally, 17 of them will be going to post a couple of scratches in the race, but we kick off with three outsiders. Darren coming over from the UK.
Yes, let's take a look at the lineup then for the Prix de l'Abbaye de Longchamp, the race over the straight 1,000 metres. Number one against the wind for Kevin Stott, and two is Washington Heights, stable companion, and ditto about number three. Yes, all three, as number three ain't nobody. Those first three there on the race card, trained by Kevin Ryan.
Horse number 4, a late non-runner. 5 is JM Jungle for Jason Hart and John and Sean Quinn, who won this a couple of years ago with the great Highfield Princess. 6 is Pontos, who has been such a consistent horse this year. Holly Doyle takes the ride.
Now trained in the Czech Republic, Jawal, a son of Wooded, who won this in 2020. Rumstar, big price for Rob Hornby. A Night Raider, Carl Burke, and Wathnan Racing, James Doyle in the saddle.
Just to confirm, number 10, Rejevka, is a non-runner. 11 is Foster Dawn. William Buick takes the mount here, third in the Nunthor. And 12 is She's Quality. A consistent type in all the big sprints. James Ryan is the jockey.
13, Montai, has been the subject of a lot of support today for Christian De Muro and Mario Baratti, as she has put herself right up there after that good Group 3 win at Longchamp last time. 14 is First Instinct, one of two interesting horses for William Haggis, Kieran Fallon on board, but drawn very wide in 18. 15 is Magira for Kieran Schumacher, hoping to give Ed Walker back-to-back successes in this race.
Absolutely. Star of Lady M, number 16, quite a big price. Asfura, what a treat to have the Australian globe-trotting mare here. Oisin Murphy once again in the saddle for Henry Dwyer. Tom Marquand, a winner for him yesterday. He rides Sky Majesty.
And the 2-year-old, this is Afghan, number 19. Alexis Pouchin is in the saddle, and looking at the record of the 2-year-olds in this race, 2 have won since the 1970s.
Yeah, absolutely. Siggy back in 1978, and then Platinum Queen with Holly Doyle, and there were some fine celebrations on that day. I think it was the Midland Park racing Holly Doyle in the saddle of Platinum Queen, the 2-year-old filly who beat all these tough sprinters. That was in 2020.
Adds a bit of flavour to this race. I think that you always want to have a horse like that who plays a bit of a part, because as you say, you know, we've got a 2-year-old in Afghan who has got that featherweight, and then you've got these improving types, and it's always interesting to see who's going to put their head above the parapet and show off to be a next one of the best sprinters, because as we know, Darren, this sprinting division this season has been wide open. Every Group 1 sprint race we've had in England and Ireland has gone for a different horse.
Yes, it's a case of they rock up one week and you'll get one result, rock up a few weeks later, totally different result. There isn't a big gulf between the top handicappers and the group sprinters. We haven't got a supreme sprinting champion. We've seen some supreme sprinting champions here in the Prix de l'Abbé over the years, but unfortunately we haven't got that at the moment, so there isn't that big gulf between the top handicappers and the group sprinters.
Is Asfora that one? She just doesn't seem to be able to back up her victories. The moment you think that she is the champion, she just slightly dips her form, and they've been very, very creative with her season this year, going to all the big dances. She had a big moment in the Sunshine and the Nunthorpe, but I thought that run in the Flying Five last time slightly disappointed me, and the ground looks like it's gone against her.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at Asfora winning the Nunthorpe up at York. Second Group 1 in the UK for her after Ascot last season, Ian.
Yes, she's 3 from the right of this picture. Blinkers on. She's worn blinkers the last 4 runs. She's going to beat Ain't Nobody, Frost at Dawn, and Rumstar. Amongst those horses we'll all be seeing JM Jungle, Mgira. They're all in this race. She's quality as well that you're going to see this afternoon. She's a big, fine mare. She has won in Australia on very soft ground by their terms, and she's also handled fastest conditions, including on that York run last time out. So ground doesn't appear to be a problem. With today's race, the draw is always very important, and she's got a nice draw. As for her, she is going to come out of stall number 3.
Yeah, really nice draw for Asfora. Oisin Murphy will be doing the steering. He knows her very well at the moment. It's really rare for us to have an Aussie raider here in Paris-Longchamp on Arc weekend. There was an Australian Arc runner back in 1984. Strawberry Road finished, I think, midfield in the race, but really rare. I know Ascot to really go out to try and get them, attract them to come over to Royal Ascot and also the UK racecourses. France don't so much do that, don't kind of have that proactive approach to getting them, but we are absolutely delighted to have her here, and what a reward it would be for Connections if she were to add an Abbey to her British credentials.
Yeah, look, she's got a Royal Ascot victory. She's won that big Nunthorpe. Maybe the point about Oisin Murphy is crucial, because Dylan Brown McMonagle rode her last time. Oisin was unavailable to ride. Oisin comes back on board. He's been a part of all her big successes in Europe, so that could play a big part. But the only time she sort of ran badly, where she probably looked to be at her best, was at Goodwood when the ground was on the testing side. So that would be the negative to her. She looks very much up on her toes. Several of these horses are revved as you normally imagine some of these sprinters to be.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people, quite a lot of noise here here at Paris Longchamp, but Asfouri, I'm opposing her, I'm afraid. I would love to see her win, but I'm opposing her from a betting perspective because I think she's maybe just had a long enough season in the UK and the ground, although she has done well on it in Australia. It's not, I think, what she likes. She does really like to bounce off the top of it. But she has a good draw in 3, but another horse who has a really good draw in stall number 1, like in her trial run, that's number 13, Monte, the big French hope for Italian trainer Mario Baratti, based in Chantilly, and we're going to have a look at her performance in the trial.
Well, the most fascinating thing about Monte is this will be her 3rd course and distance run, and every time she runs over the 1,000 metre here, she gets draw number 1. Perfect draw today, but it's not always a perfect draw, because 2 runs ago in the race we're watching now, but 12 months beforehand, she wasn't quickly away from stall number 1. She had a wall of horses in front of her and she couldn't get through. So it's not necessarily a great thing, but if she's fast away, she comes into the race in excellent form. She's won 2 of her last 3 races. We know the course and distance is fine, and she has the plum draw if she can use it correctly.
Yeah, I spoke to the travelling head lad for Mario Baratti yesterday, and he was really happy, really bullish about their chances with Monte. She's been really very highly regarded by Mario Baratti since he took over training this filly from Pascal Barry when he retired. They sent her over to Royal Ascot for the King Charles III Stakes when she would have had way easier targets here against her own sex and against the 3-year-olds at that time of year. So, they do have ambitious plans for her.
Toss will go forward. JM Jungle, Night Raider, we know that he likes to gun from the front too, and looking at these horses, we can see number 12, she's quality, looking like a bit of a bull in a china shop at the moment, whereas as you say, Monte coming past her, she seems a pretty relaxed looking horse. She looks more of a colt than she does a filly, a lot of quality about her. I'm really looking forward to this, but it will be intriguing to see what will happen from the gates, because as we know, Darren, this can be all very draw biased.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Ian said, it's all well and good being drawn 1, but you have got to jump. You can't afford to not jump and lose your position. But just going back to Monte, it was a lovely effort in the Petit Couvert over the course and distance, and that was having had a bit of a break since running really well. I thought Monte ran with credit at Royal Ascot on ground, which would have been totally different to this. It was really fast ground at Royal Ascot, and we were talking about the ground for the Australian horse Asfura. Yeah, Asfura's won with soft ground in Australia, but how does soft ground in Australia equate to soft ground in Paris in October?
Not quite the same.
They don't get the rain that we do here. But as you say, that race that she was 8th in, she was a big price that day. She had a couple of these horses ahead of her, including a horse that I really like, Frost at Dawn, who's having a super season for William Knight and very much deserves a big win.
What do you think about the ground for her?
I was worried about this time last year. I would have said no, definitely not. But there have been bits and pieces of form, especially at Goodwood, where she ran well behind JM Jungle, that leads me to believe that she'll cope with it. She won't be at her best on it, but I think she'll cope with it slightly better than the horse and shot Asfura.
Yeah, we've got loads of interesting mares in this race, and one that I like is Magira. We spoke about the braking at the start a few moments ago, and Fanny caught up with her trainer Ed Walker a few moments ago. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Walker won this race last year with Makarova and returns with Megara, who we know really well in France, having been trained here. What do you make of this candidacy?
We're really excited, actually. She Ascot, she didn't go in the stalls. York, she missed the break, and then the Curragh, she ran really well twice at the Curragh now, but her last run was really good. She jumped well. The ground was quite testing. I was really happy. I was very nervous about the ground when I came here. I walked the track. The the sprint track is a lot quicker than the round track. I think she'll be very happy on the ground. She looks fantastic. She still has a summer's coat, and if Kieran can get her to jump and travel and not be too far away, I think she'll have a really, really good chance. But it's a very competitive race. Lots of runners. You need a lot of luck, but if she gets that bit of luck, I think she'll be bang there. So
Thank you very much.
thanks. Thank you.
Interesting what Ed Walker had to say about the ground on the straight track. Maybe not as testing as we feared. What else we need to mention, Darren? Maybe JM Jungle, who is a Group 2 winner at Goodwood for the Quins, who won this, of course, with the ill-fated Highfield Princess.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, this is my idea of the winner. It's a trappy race. Was beaten 3 lengths in the Nunthorpe, but really effective over the 1,000 metres. Hurtled down the hill at glorious Goodwood when there was cut in the ground. Won the Epsom Dash, and overall, you'd probably say JM Jungle's pretty versatile, I reckon, nowadays when it comes to ground. I've actually seen this horse win on lightning fast ground in Bahrain about 18 months ago. But I think JM Jungle's pretty versatile. Negative, maybe the draw would perhaps be a concern coming out of stall 14.
Highfield Princess came out from the very same stall.
Wow.
So Sean Quinn has taken that as a bit of an omen, and you're delighted with that. And I think for them, look, they know how to produce these horses. They know how to bring horses from handicaps, like Highfield Princess did, into the top level. So whatever happens, JM Jungle's story has been extraordinary. Jason Hart said to me after the win at Goodwood, the Prix de l'Abbé would be made for him. They ran a really good race at York, and then this has been the plan ever since then. So fair credit to them for producing a horse like this, who's so robust. But as you say, 14, you thought maybe it'd be a negative, then you look back and see who's won it in the past. But let's see if he's as good as that filly.
I'm happy now.
Yeah, I see you put him up as your number 1 selection, Darren, so best of luck with him. And you may have spotted some shots of a kind of a fairground type installation they put here at Paris-Longchamp. You can pay your money and go up and see the races from a bird's eye view, glass of champagne in hand. So really pushing the boat out here at Paris-Longchamp, France Gallo, to make sure that there's something for everyone, and looking forward a big crowd for the races as they're down at the start. Of course, we are in the centre of the track on this straight 5 furlong course, so some distance away from the grandstand. A couple of non-runners, as we mentioned, Migari, who went through the sales ring yesterday evening, and also Rajevka. I would imagine that's because of the ground. She likes top of the ground. There we can see number 6, Pontos, trained in the Czech Republic, but really well known here in France and also around the world. Holly Doyle won this a couple of years ago with Platinum Queen, the juvenile filly. Often gets away swiftly from the get-go. What's draw? Draw number 2.
Course and distance winner.
Yep.
Fourth attempt, 4th appearance in the Prix de l'Abbé for this horse.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be something if we had a Czech Republic winner here in a Group 1 on Arc Day? Very, very international.
But has never been in the money in three previous
No, exactly. 3
appearances
previous
in the
attempts
race.
in this race. Often wins trials, Group 3s, but yes.
Coming into it in slightly better form than he has done before. He's a 7-year-old now, but they've got a lot of confidence into him. But he has been running well in the lower level races. But I just think that this is so open. I wouldn't be surprised, and you probably don't want to hear this because you want to say you need to be confident about something, but I wouldn't be surprised if anything at any price wins this. It can throw up a few surprises. I just worry about being too wide, but as we said, some horses can overcome that.
So, yeah, you're on Frost of Dawn?
Frost of Dawn, but I found it really difficult to pin one colour to a mast. I was pretty keen on a couple of these. I liked First Instinct for William Haggis, who brought her form to another level when winning at Newbury last time. She'll like the ground, but I think William Haggis probably tearing his hair out really at the draw, because Sky Majesty, his other runner, is drawn wide too, and I wouldn't put you off her.
She looks an interesting one, goes well on soft ground.
Exactly, and she's a horse that they've been creative with their planning. They took her to Ireland. She was slightly underwhelming last time out, but she's a horse that has got a lot of quality, and 2 3-year-old fillies for William Haggis that have got a good amount of potential.
And she's quality. I wouldn't rule she's quality out of the equation. Very consistent type.
I'm not going to ask you which ones we are going to rule out, because that is guaranteed to see them come in first. So just
do you think we mentioned the winner?
Just a few left to go in. We'll hand over to Ian Bartlett.
She's Quality is heading up to the stalls. Nearest to us there was Washington Knights. There's Pontos, regular in the race, orange sleeves, Holly Doyle, and Joe Wild there, the white and red colours. These sprinters waiting to go in. Joel, stall number 9, which is not too bad, not a brilliant draw. He's certainly in good order. A 3-year-old. He's won 3 of his races this season. Pontos, stall number 2, the orange colours for him. This is Sky Majesty is in Rumstar. There we are, light blue and yellow quarters. Rob Hornby taking his place. Washington Heights in beige, and the black and rose colours of First Instinct, Kieran Fallon. Stall number 18 will be the widest of them, the one that would have been in 19 as a non-runner, and also stall 8, McGarry, is out of the race. So last couple taking their place for this Prix d'Abbé de Longchamp. Washington Heights is in, and here comes First Instinct, and then Pontos is going to be the last one to come forward. Holly Doyle in the diamonds of orange and white on his way up now. Old Stager takes himself in. That's it. Ready, steady, go. Off in the Abbey. And as they come away, Sky Majesty just tripped a little bit, leaving the stalls. First Instinct in the black jacket. Pontos, Joelle in red and white colours, and she's quality is up there as well. Night Raiders not far behind these. Asphora in blue. She'd be about 5th at the moment. Monte's with this, and then comes Frosted Dawn and Mangira, and behind those is JM Jungle, and then comes First Instinct and Washington Heights and Rumstar and Ain't Nobody, and then behind this star of Lady M is the back marker with Sky Majesty, but they're already hurtling down to the last 300 metres in the Abbey. Pontos and Joelle, the leading pair, as Fora tucked in behind them. She's quality is there as well. Afjan and Gira behind those. Monte in white has had to switch around. Joelle in the white and red, as Fora, the blue sleeve jacket, is in pursuit. Here she comes, Joelle in front, as Fora challenging, and as Fora's got up for Australia to beat in second place Joelle. She's quality, and Pontos and Gira behind those, and then came Monte, and they trail all the way across the line to Against the Wind, who was many lengths behind the others. Rumstar is towards the back as well with Night Raider. He had to switch Murphy on this Asphora to get around Joelle. He did. She responded. Australia have won the Abbey with 17 Asphora. Joelle, a great run, a big price that, 7 in second position. They're clear from She's Quality, and Pontos, another run for him. I think this is his best ever performance. I think he's very narrowly got 4th place.
Well, what an international result for this Prix de l'Abbaye de Longchamp-Longines. Australia win, the Czech Republic 2nd, and the UK in 3rd. But as for what a treat she is.
Never in doubt regarding the ground. Never in doubt.
I think Ed Walker gave us a bit of a help there with the fact that he had said that the ground was quicker down the straight, but Asphora seemed to really enjoy it. Was always in a comfortable rhythm. Pontos went off pretty hard, but maybe Usheen back on board, that's helped. And success, an Australian winning on Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe Day and the Prix de l'Abbey, and she has certainly bounced back on her wonderful international season. That has already been a victory in the Nunthorpe, and now this at this top level. But they went hard, as we always thought, and that really suited us for her.
Yeah, but the interesting thing here is that nothing's really come from off the pace, because the winner chased the leaders. The second horse was prominent throughout. The third horse was never too far away, and the fourth horse led. So nothing's really come from off the pace. But wow, she has shown her versatility now when it comes to ground.
As she certainly has, and she might not be over with yet, Catherine. She might be heading to the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. I think that was going to be the plan. Henry Dwight is loving this year, and Usheen Murphy seems to just love it even more. I know Chanel does all the hard work. She's based it in Newmarket during this period of the season. At Amy Murphy and Lemos de Sousa's yard. They've done a fabulous job with her. What an achievement, and she's back, and she's proved my doubts wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair play to her, fair play to Connections, and wouldn't you just love to have a mare like this and the adventures that they've had. A Royal Ascot success last year, York this season, Royal Ascot last year, Paris Longchamp, and then the Breeders' Cup. I mean, why wouldn't you? There is Amy Murphy, now based in as a trainer in France, but her husband Lemos de Souza in Newmarket. Another international aspect, because he's of course a Brazilian by birth, training out of Newmarket. And Oisin Murphy being a big part of this, I think, with this mare, I think guiding them along as well. He knows these tracks so well, and he's become very much a go-to rider for foreign visitors. He rides, of course, Byzantine Dream in the Arc for the Japanese later on this afternoon, but wow, what a performance and a historic moment. I believe it's the first Australian win on French soil. I'm trying to get that checked, but I can't think of any in the last 25 years anyway.
Not many come and do it, and I think fair credit to Henry Dwyer. I'm not entirely certain. I think he is there in the back looking very smart and a nice
he's supposed to be coming.
Trilby. I think I saw him there being interviewed. He'll be thrilled to pieces. It's always been on his plan, is just to keep her ticking, keep going to these big days. She'll get a great reception because she's a popular horse. Oisin Murphy, a popular man. He's, as you say, he picks up these international rides, but he seems to be, again, a bit like Ryan Moore, a man that just doesn't make many mistakes. He always has his horses in the right position, and I think this has been crucial. But yes, Henry Dwyer is here, being congratulated by all, and let's hope it's not over yet, because she seems to be absolutely flourishing.
She does absolutely seem to be thriving on her racing. I was slightly concerned. We discussed her before the race. You know, she's gone through a lot of hoops. She's travelled many miles and many kilometres, and she just keeps responding. She keeps rewarding her connections, and isn't this fantastic for racing? Oisin Murphy, as you said, in the saddle doesn't make many mistakes at all. And Darren, you're just looking on admiratively.
Because did I not read when Astura came over to the UK last year that she wouldn't be regarded as the very top of the sprinting tree in Australia?
No, the Australians would say, you know, she would struggle in Group 1 company there, and she obviously has improved massively, but when she won the King's Stand last year, it was very much thought that, well, you know, if we brought our biggest sprinters, you wouldn't want to see what we could do to them. But I think she has seemed to have really developed well. She seems to suit European racing. The straight track here at Longchamp has really benefited her, and she's just been produced beautifully. For whatever reason, though, she doesn't seem to back up her races. Sometimes there's a win, and there could be a blip, and then she's back again. And that's what happened. I must have been in Ireland. That was just not her at herself. But these are great scenes. Great to see Akram El Fakri, her owner, in the white and the beige trilby there with Henry Dwyer, who's over from Australia. It was first time ever over to England to Ascot when she won the King's Stand, and I wonder whether this could be his first trip over to Longchamp, because, as you say, not many other opportunities he's had to see horses here.
No, it's a great €350,000 prize fund for this Prix de l'Abbaye de Longchamp. She's got the win and you're in saddlecloth. And how do you think, Jess, so that you know the American racing very well, how do you think she would be suited by the test of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint?
Well, that is the American ammo, the sprinters, and I think of all the races, that's the race. Look, Starlast won it last year for Rafe Beckett and Ross Orion. There are some brilliant sprinters and turf sprinters now, more so than there ever has been. She's good from the stalls, but she's going to have to be even better. But she seems to hold on to the pace very well today. So I'd love to see her try it. Coming around a bend will be slightly different, but it's what she's been used to in Australia when she's at home. And as we know, she's very versatile. She'll add a really big extra dimension. It'd be fabulous to have an Australian try and win over the Breeders' Cup, because I know there've been runners, but there hasn't been an Australian winner of the Breeders' Cup yet.
That's down to the time of the year, isn't it? Because obviously Breeders' Cup is at the time of the Spring Carnival, you know, Flemington, Moonee Valley, etc. But what a great result! Absolutely wonderful result. I hope quite a few of the Australian race fans have actually stayed up to enjoy this moment.
I'm sure they will. I hope they're watching us now. And congratulations to the Australian fans, because they'll be thrilled to see this horse who, as you say, it might just encourage a few more, because she's done this the last couple of years, coming racing all the big European races, but we haven't seen any new blood yet. So maybe there will be a few more that will be buoyed by this success. A huge amount of prize money, a massive amount of prestige, and to be on the global racing stage like this I think is important. So let's bring some more Aussies over.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Henry Dwyer, I read that he had a great night out in York celebrating his Nunthorpe win, so he'll be able to go and try the Paris nightlife. But congratulations to him and all the Aussies, because they do add an extra level to, notably the racing at Royal Ascot and in the UK when they come over. It's great sportivity, great sportsmanship for them to come and try their luck here. And look, she seems to be absolutely loving it. She knows that she's the star of the show. And Fanny caught up with the winning trainer, Henry Dwyer, a few moments ago. I wonder if she spoke to him about his celebrations.
Henry, congratulations. What an incredible win. I understand you almost did not race. There was a passport issue?
Yeah, the dumb Australians forgot to pack the passport, unfortunately. So we had a bit of an issue, but we had an Uber driver do a mad dash from Chantilly with the passport, and he got here with a minute and a half to spare. So could have been a very different tale.
What a performance today.
Amazing performance. I'd love to digest the replay. It's very hard to see the race, obviously, but...
we'll let you digest it and we'll meet afterwards.
Terrific. Yeah, I'll be around. Thank you.
Well, we'll let Fanny catch up with Henry Dwyer, maybe again, or get some news anyway, which she can report to us. He seems very much blown away by the moment, and unfortunately they remembered the horse's passport. Oh, well, that would have been a major disaster. But Fanny been really, really busy so far today, and she also caught up with the successful jockey, Oisin Murphy.
Oh, what a cracking mare.
Yeah, fantastic. She looked so well and she trained brilliantly into this race. The Abbey is hard to win because always a big field, but she did everything really well.
She's got an unconventional stride, but so much power.
Yeah, she has a huge knee action and she's a very broad horse in shape. So she really wants fast ground, but she just got away with it. She travelled supremely well and I didn't have to get too serious with her.
Well done.
Merci.
Yeah, Oisin Murphy there, reminding us that he can come out with a few words in French and also in German, but he can certainly steer a racehorse, and she went straight to the winning post.
Yeah, as I said, it's great to have the Australian connections over in France and making the journey, because they've probably had a lot of options. She's gone literally everywhere, Goodwood, York, Ascot, the Curragh, and now here to Paris. But it will be ultra interesting to see what she does. I thought at the beginning of the year this might be her swan song, this might be her final year, because she's going to be an ultra valuable broodmare when she does head to the breeding sheds. But they seem to be having a lot of fun. I wonder if they are going to be over this year.
I think I did read that they might consider keeping her next year, so we'll watch this space. But she's a triple Group 1 winner in Europe over the 5 furlongs, and connections here of the Neuralane farm.
So if we were going to nominate the champion sprinter of Europe,
well, she'd be up there.
I think she's won it now.
She's the only one
she's won the Nunthorpe, wasn't
she's the only one that's won 2 Group 1s.
Exactly. She's the only sprinter in Europe that's won 2 Group 1s in the same season. Whereas the others, they haven't been able. There's still opportunities yet. Obviously, with the Champions Day at Ascot coming up, but this is the minimum distance, whereas Ascot has got that extra furlong. But certainly, this division needs a champion, and I think racing needs these stories. It's very important to see them. First race today where Aidan O'Brien and Christophe Soumillon haven't gone on. They're only division where they don't seem to have a horse to compete at a high level. So I think it's really great for racing.
Yeah, it certainly is, and very much a global sport these days. We have the interest of the Breeders' Cup we've mentioned, but of course there's also the Hong Kong races, Japan and Australia, and also the Middle East, the Dubai World Cup, and now Bahrain, and also Saudi, very much part of the international scene. So Oisin Murphy, omnipresent in the big races all around the world, and Asphora flying the Aussie flag there, collecting the prizes. Let's have another look at the race and to see how she did it.
Going with Pontos, and those two were able to maintain the pace. Asfiora, the winner, was just tucked in behind them, would be about 2 or 3 lengths off the speed, but was never too far away. And as I said a few minutes ago, nothing has really come from off the pace. All credit to the 2-year-old. I thought the 2-year-old ran really well. Afjan, there was a solid effort there in the Al Shakab Racing Silks. At this stage, going to the 200, I thought Magira was going to be a player in the pink jacket. jacket for Lloyd and Lord and Lloyd Webber. But in the end, Asfura well on top of Jawal, and she's quality just a few lengths adrift. But I think that the most notable thing for me was not many really got into the race.
Yeah, the pace really held up. A couple of the horses that I thought would go forward or be up there just didn't. JM Jungle, Night Raider, they just never seemed to get into a rhythm. Pontos stayed up there, and as you quite rightly point out, a very good run by the 2-year-old Afghan. But full credit to Jawal. He's brought his form to a new level. He's looking at a horse that's going to improve again. And Pontos, who seems to be flourishing too. She's quality, has run another admirable race. Jack Davison's done really well with this horse. She deserves a good win at a top level because she seems to be a place or be a bridesmaid in all these good races. But all in all, a race where it became a bit obvious in the end after us going fishing for a horse at a big price. It was right with the one that already had won at a big stage.
Yeah, certainly Australia, and a confirmation that this is the first success on a French racecourse for an Australian trained horse. So congratulations once again to Asfora and the Czech Republic I mentioned for Jawal, and also for Pontos on the podium as well in the prize money. Pontos, we would imagine, will continue travelling around, a horse that's got plenty of kilometres on the clock. Jawal as well, formerly trained by Henri Devin but now based in the east of Europe. And Asfora becomes the 4th filly or mare in a row to win this, after the Platinum Queen, after Highfield Princess and after Makarova. So quite a performance, as they're just changing the decor behind us. The next race coming up will be the Qatar Arabian World Cup. It's the arc for the purebred Arabians. And we can maybe take a short pause and have a look back at the Abbey before we prepare for this race 4, which will be coming up next on the programme.